סיום מסכת ביצה. והבאה מיני רבי שמעון ברבי מרבי, פצילי תמרה לרבי שמעון מהו? אמר לי, אין מוקצה לרבי שמעון, אלא גרגורות וצימוקים בלבד. איבא איתימה, הנה מיני כגרגורות וצימוקים דמה. איבא איתימה, לדבריו דרבי שמעון כאמר, ולא לא סביר עליה. ואיבא איתימה, לדבריהם דרבנן כאמר לו, לדידי אין מוקצה, אלא לדחו הודו לי מיד אחד ליוצאות ורואות בפסח ונכנסות ורביעה ראשונה דביתות הן, ואמרו לרבנן למדבריות הן. We'll go back to Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda momentarily. On Wednesday last week was Simchat Torah. Someone came to me and asked me, what does it mean Isru Chag? Everybody knows Isru Chag. So I told him usually Isru Chag is the day after the holidays. I know in Israel they used to give them off in school. I'm not sure about here if they give off or not. But that was Isru Chag. But he said, what does it mean? The wording Isru Chag. I didn't know what to tell him. We went to Rabbi Yaakov Ben Chaim. He explained to us. He told us Isru is lashon of kesher, tie. We are tying something, bonding to the holiday that we just finished. So we give like an extra day. Beautiful explanation. We opening the page the next day, Thursday, after the holiday. We're reading there about the sekach of the sukkah, that you are not supposed to be benefit from it in the time of sukkah. But it says, if it's a isiruyuta, you are allowed to enjoy it. What is isiruyuta? If it's a bundle of reeds tied up, it means that it's not muktzeh, because you tie it. It shows that you just restore it for you did not take it out of your mind. So the word is isiruyuta. The next day, right after that, it's amazing. I thought that the Daf Yomi give you sometimes events or something, but it's giving me answering to my questions and my explanation to wording. Baruch Hashem, you know, the Daf Yomi is vivid, is full of Ruach HaKodesh. When hundreds of thousands of people doing the same thing the same day, there's always Kedusha in it. You have to know that. You know, when we're praying, the whole world is praying, there's Kedusha in the prayers. Same thing in Daf Yomi. Hundreds of thousands of people doing it in the same day, and there is a Kedusha in it. Few words about the masechet. The masechet of betza basically is talking about mentioning maybe a page in, page out, talking about muktzeh. What is muktzeh? We have things on Shabbat and Yom Tov that we are not allowed to not to touch, means to carry. To carry, you are allowed from the Torah to carry anything you want. You just cannot take it out. But the rabbis, they made the gezerah that not to be metaltel and removing some kinds of things that you set them out of your mind. It's called muktzeh. Harambam explained that one of the reasons, there's many reasons to it, one of the reasons is, like this, when you don't come and remove some things in the house, you will not take it from the house to Reshut HaRabim. Another explanation is to show you the Kedusha of Yom Tov and Shabbat. If you are allowed to touch everything, some people, they don't, especially nowadays, they don't work not during the week and not in Shabbat. So they won't see difference between Shabbat and during the week, between Yom Tov and the week. That's why they are not allowed they are not supposed to remove some kind of kelim. And there is the different kind of muktzeh. There is muktzeh mechamat isur, something, let's say a candle that while it's light you cannot take it. There is muktzeh mechamat chisaron kis, anything that is expensive, that someone restore it on the side. You're not allowed to move it on Yom Tov and Shabbat. There is different kind of, there is muktzeh mechamat gufo, like piece of stone, that doesn't have any purpose. You cannot move it. There is muktzeh also mechamat. There's different kind of muktzeh, something that called nolad, something that came today. So you're not like the name of the masechet is betza. Betza shenolda beyom tov or Shabbat. You cannot remove it. There is different kind of muktzeh that, like the one that I mentioned. There is sometimes muktzeh mitzvah. Let's say the sechach of the sukkah, you cannot benefit from it during the whole holiday because you put it in your mind for the mitzvah of the sukkah. Now, there is two schools during the masechet you see in Yom Tov and Shabbat. There is two schools. There is the school of Rabbi Shimon and the school of Rabbi Yehuda. Both of them, they agree that there is kind of, there's the muktzeh. But each one, Rabbi Yehuda is very strict about muktzeh. Is like machmir in all kind of muktzeh. Rabbi Shimon, on the other hand, he has a muktzeh, but is very, very lenient. Now, when you read it the masechet, sometimes it's hard to know halacha is like whom, like Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Shimon. We see sometimes in the Gemara, it seems like halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. You read in Masechet Shabbat, you see, it seems like halacha like Rabbi Shimon. So some of them Mefarshim explain that in Shabbat, because Shabbat is chamur, everybody knows the chumrah of Shabbat, is very strict. So the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon, that mekel, that is lenient, because he knows that in Shabbat people are afraid. They're not going to do something. They know Shabbat, the punishment on Shabbat is sekilah. So that's why he's lenient about the mitzvah and Shabbat. But on the other hand, in Yom Tov, people tend to be lenient. So if you allow you to be free about mitzvah and Yom Tov, you are going to be lax about it. That's why the halacha in Yom Tov is like Rabbi Yehuda. One of the explanations. And finally, there is one perek here that talks about Iruf Tafshilim. Iruf Tafshilim, what we do when we do Iruf Tafshilim, when Yom Tov comes on Friday. When Yom Tov comes on Friday, you're supposed to cook for Shabbat, right? So what we do the day before Yom Tov, let's say on Wednesday night, when it's Thursday and Friday, you prepare something, some egg or some bread, and by starting that hachana, that cooking before, you are allowed to continue to Shabbat. So the idea is, number one, if from the Torah you are not allowed to cook from Yom Tov to Shabbat, so the Iruf Tafshilim doesn't do you anything. But the starting point is that from the Oraita, from the Torah point of view, you are allowed to prepare from Yom Tov LeShabbat. The tzarchei Shabbat ne'esim b'Yom Tov. But the Chachamim came and they say, if we are going to allow you to cook from Yom Tov to Shabbat, what people are going to do? They're going to cook from Yom Tov to weekdays, not to Shabbat. That's why they make Iruf Tafshilim. Like this, you will be a little bit more careful. One of the explanation. So I don't want to be long. יהי רצון, כשם שגמרנו את מסכת ביצה, נתחיל את כל המסכתות הבאות עלינו לטובה. אדרן הלך מסכת ביצה, והדרך חנן דעתן הלך מסכת ביצה, ודעתן הלך. לא נתנשם מינה מסכת ביצה, ולא נתנשם מינה לא בעלמא דין ולא בעלמא דעתן.